I remember the day the water spirits came to claim my sister, Amina. Mother was holding her so tightly, crying out that she wouldn't let them take her. It was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen. The river was calm, but something about it felt wrong, like it was waiting. We'd heard stories about the spirits, but none of us ever thought they were real until that day. Years before I was born, my parents longed for a child. They prayed and offered gifts to the spirits of the river, hoping something would listen. Finally, the spirits answered. They promised my parents a child but warned that she would belong to them one day. Desperate, my parents agreed, happy to have a family, though they couldn't fully understand what this would mean. Amina was born soon after, and she was beautiful. She had this calm about her, like she was always dreaming. My parents adored her, and they never stopped watching over her. But they also avoided the river and whispered about the spirits. They tried to forget the promise, but I could see in my mother's eyes that she remembered, especially as Amina grew older. As Amina grew, she was strangely drawn to the river. She'd sit on the banks for hours, staring at the water as if it was speaking to her. Mother tried to keep her away, but Amina didn't seem to understand. It was like she belonged to the river in some way. Every time she went, Mother would scold her, reminding her of the dangers hidden there, but Amina didn't seem afraid. One day, Amina fell ill. She was weak and pale, and nothing seemed to make her better. The healer said it was a simple fever, but Mother feared the spirits were calling her back. She stayed by Amina's side, refusing to let her out of her sight. I could feel the tension in the house. We all felt the river waiting, silent and watchful, as if it knew. As Amina lay in bed, she started to talk about dreams of the water. She said the spirits came to her, telling her it was time. They promised to take care of her, to give her a life beyond anything here. Mother told her it was just a nightmare, but I saw the worry in her eyes. Amina was caught between us and the spirits, and none of us knew what to do. Mother became restless, barely eating or sleeping. She would sit by Amina, muttering that the spirits couldn't have her. She reminded Amina that she was our family, not theirs. But Amina would only look at her sadly, as if she knew a secret we couldn't understand. I'd never seen Mother so afraid. She was fighting against something she couldn't see or touch, and it was breaking her. One evening, Amina walked to the river, her face blank, as if in a trance. We followed, afraid of what she might do. The river seemed alive, its surface rippling with strange lights. Amina reached out toward the water, and Mother grabbed her, pulling her back. She begged the spirits not to take her child. I watched, helpless, as the air around us felt thick, like we weren't alone. Mother knelt by the river, clutching Amina, and cried out to the spirits. She offered herself instead, pleading with them to leave her child. There was silence, and then a voice seemed to echo from the water, telling her the pact couldn't be undone. Mother held Amina tightly, refusing to let go, even as the river's current seemed to pull at them both. In the end, the spirits allowed Amina to stay, but only if Mother would never see the river again. She agreed, willing to give up anything to keep Amina safe. From that day on, we avoided the river, and Mother never spoke of it again. But I could see in her eyes that she was haunted by that day, and so was I. We had all been touched by something beyond our world, and none of us would ever forget it.